Everybody, welcome to another video. This week's video is going to be relatively a short one because I just received my desk and chair, so I spent most of Monday trying to assemble them and get my setup and everything ready. So that took me about 2 days to get everything going. They're, autonomous desk and chair, so it took me a little while to actually assemble them, and I had to make sure like my setup and monitors and everything were set up correctly, and move my internet, my router and everything over, because now I don't have to sit close to my modem. Today I'm simply going to go over one of the most important gaming tips in my opinion in general, but it's obviously going to be tailored towards Valorant, and that is playing with whatever you are most comfortable with and allowing others to do the same. I feel like this is a pretty obvious conclusion, but one that many players take for granted. This obviously lends itself to toxicity as well. Time and time again, I'll see people asking for certain picks, certain agents in Valorant, or asking people to play a certain playstyle, have them playing a certain side, or having pushing a certain thing, or doing whatever, making calls, which is fine if you're suggesting, hey, maybe you should do this, hey, can we get mid control or whatever. But if that person, or if you, this could be you too, are comfortable with that strat and don't mind playing off of your style, then sure, that's okay. But if you attempt to try and make somebody play a style or fashion that they cannot, and it will not end up well, it just will be more detrimental to your team than anything. The way I see it, you should play however that can allow them to play at their best. Obviously, you can still suggest certain things, as I've said, but forcing onto an agent like Sage is something you'll see in solo queue all the time. It's unnecessary if the person cannot play that agent, or if they're not 100% confident in it. I think there's too much focus on strats and comps instead of individual performance, and can be easily changed if we were a little bit more open-minded on the whole game. Now, that's not to say that Sage is a bad agent. I just think that every agent is pretty much viable, and you don't need like a Cypher or a Sage or a Phoenix or a Brimstone, no matter what you see in pro play, no matter what you see like pros play. In lower elo. Now in a higher elo, where strats and stuff become a little bit more important because individual performance is at a higher level, then that stuff does come into play a little bit. It still applies to where you should play whatever you're comfortable with, but higher elo players are a little bit more flexible. They're more flex players. They can play different strats, different play styles, and they can tell whether they're on a good day or a bad day. So as I've said, the higher ranked players will be more flexible, and so it's a little bit more expected that you know how to utilize certain agents and execute certain plays. But at lower ranks, it definitely should not be emphasized as much, especially in especially iron, bronze, and silver. Like, you go into gold and plat, I still personally don't think it matters, but it's where you start to see a lot more people emphasizing that mentality, like, hey, we need a Sage, we need a Brimstone, we need smokes. Like, yes, they're important, it's not 100% necessary. You can definitely play the game without it, especially at that low elo, because it's a little bit more like it on your individual performance. Like, you should be more focused on like, hey, am I going to win these gunfights, like, should I be pushing out, etc, etc. So again, these are just my thoughts. I personally am a flex player, so I can play whatever role that needs to be fulfilled on my team. However, I do have an innate aggressive playstyle, so even if I play Sage, for example, I'm still going to push out, take control of parts of the map, and more than likely I'm just going to use my heal for myself. So if someone wants to be a one-trick Phoenix on my team, for example, which I do love playing Phoenix, then I'm just going to give it to them. I have no qualms against it. I think any agent can be played in any playstyle, so don't assume that Sage, for example, has to play back to heal their team, or that even Phoenix has to play super aggro. Now, that's not to say that certain agents perform better in certain situations, but it's almost negligible at that point. So I hope you all take my tip to heart. I definitely think that if people pay a little less attention to team comps and solo queue, especially at the lower elo, everyone would have a better time playing the game, and people may even rank up more easily. Who knows, I could be completely wrong, but generally allowing people to play towards their strength is a good strategy on its own. So think about it, guys. Let me hear what you guys think in the comments below. I would really appreciate what you guys think and what kind of comments you guys are going to leave. I'm obviously going to reply to them. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. This is a short video, like I said again. Hit that like button if you agree with me, and let me know down in the comments below on your thoughts on the subject. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.